Hey everyone, good morning.
Hello.
Welcome into A3.
Got us snoozing. What up? Good morning.
Hello, I was just TikToking. Good morning.
Were you posting or scrolling?
Scrolling. Post coming.
Post coming. Guys, mark your calendars.
Yeah.
More from
Follow
Darian
Darian on TikTok, y'all.
Jenkins. Good morning, everyone. Welcome into Attacking Third. It's a delirious one today, but it's the best crew around. Christine Cupo, Sandra Herrera, Darian Jenkins. I'm Lisa Carlin. We went live late last night following the U.S. Women's National Team match, and it's been 8 hours and we're back. We are back at it. Real ones know, if you're in the chat, if you're with us live on YouTube right now, guys, we love you so much. You are just as crazy as we are, and we love you for that. We love you for that. Now, we all tried to get some sleep. Did you even shut your eyes, Christine? Did you get there at all? Did you lay in bed at all?
Maybe I'm at my best when I'm my most unslept and maximum chaotic. We'll find out. This could be a highly regrettable episode. Probably shouldn't let me talk too much. That could be a hazard. Even Gigi is laying beside me right now, and she just yawned loudly.
It's one of those days. It's one of those days, but it's one of the best days ever because we get to do this again and we get to talk women's footy and everything that has happened because it's a regular Thursday show. We have a special NWSL kit drop because every single club dropped new kits and we are doing blind reactions to them, giving our opinions, and we want to hear from you. If you're with us on YouTube, like this video, subscribe, join the combo in the chat, plus a mailbag segment. You guys are throwing questions at us. Finally, we're answering some of them for you, and then we'll get you caught up on everything else that has happened this week outside of She Believes Cup, because I feel like we've all just been deep in U.S. Women's National Team She Believes Cup action. But it is still February and a month that we are honoring and celebrating because of Black History Month and everything that has come of it. And to do that, Attacking Third is giving a little tribute to someone. And Christine Cupo, my friend, sleep or no sleep, you are up and I am ready for this. Take us through your Black History Month tribute.
All right, here we go. Saving the best for last this Black History Month. My pick for our A3 Black Athlete Spotlight is an accomplished professional soccer player, a standout collegiate athlete, a commanding front office presence, an outstanding soccer analyst and commentator, and someone who has always ensured that the doors she's walked through professionally, personally, stay propped open for Black athletes choosing similar paths. And no, that's not actually 5 different people. I'm extremely proud to be able to say it's our very own force to be reckoned with, Darian Jenkins. To become a pro athlete, it requires talent, technique, hard work, and sacrifice, but let's not forget access and visibility. In short, you need to be exceptional. To become a Black woman pro athlete in a predominantly white sport like soccer, you need to be all of that and have unshakable self-confidence to help you traverse all of the stereotypes, criticism, and assumptions. And there will be many. You need to be extraordinary. Darian's path to extraordinary started in Utah kicking a ball. It saw her into U.S. national team camps and tournaments from U14 through U23. It brought her to UCLA, where she staked her claim as a freshman standout to what would amount to a collegiate career as a 4-year starter, a champion, and an impressive collection of personal honors. While that's exceptional all on its own, there's added context. The number of Black players in D1 college soccer has sat firmly between 5 and 7% over the 10 years spanning 2013 to 2023. That is being extraordinary. Darian's path continued, but not without a setback, a season-ending injury, a broken fibula and compound fracture of her tibia her senior year for the Bruins, and lengthy recovery. Despite the injury and ongoing recovery, Darian was the first Black player selected in the 2017 NWSL draft, going first round, 7th pick, and in great company with the subsequent first round picks being rounded out by Ifeoma Onumonu, Midge Purse, and Mandy Freeman. Again, exceptional all on its own, but with the context, on par with D1 soccer, roughly 7.5% of NWSL players at this time were Black women. In that year, 2019, there were 32 players rostered across the entire league that were Black players. Darian Jenkins was one of them. When we talk about this league's evolution, and we often do, and the players who have helped shape it, that is extraordinary. Darian's playing career brought her to North Carolina, Utah, Melbourne, Bordeaux, Kansas City, and Orlando before she decided to hang up her boots. A career well stamped in the books, though not quite ready to close the book entirely. She was eager to start a new chapter, the post-playing career. Darian never once strayed from the game. Instead, she took on a leadership role with the front office at Gotham FC as chief of staff. Not terribly dissimilar or surprising at this point from D1 college stats nor NWSL player stats. There are very few Black women holding positions in many front offices nor coaching roles, but there she was, extraordinary. It wasn't until this point that I came to know Darian, and I can speak as someone with a literal, at times, and metaphorical front row seat to her evolution and success in media and as an analyst and commentator when she joined CBS. From there, she's brightly shined and become vied for asset on any desk. Darian is intelligent, insightful, passionate, diligent, funny, and an all-around great teammate. Everyone has a unique lens for how they view the game, but I especially enjoy the opportunities to see it through hers and how she articulates certain players and movements and breakdowns. A standout moment on the desk was actually the announcement of the U.S. Women's National Team attacking trio of Rodman, Swanson, and Smith, now Wilson. Darian's genuine jubilation, "My top line is Black," was the culmination of what for decades elite Black players had worked for, had hoped for, had contributed toward, what she also had contributed toward. And in that moment, I wondered if she realized that. It was a reminder of how much visibility matters and how much work was put in by Black women soccer players to arrive in a time where see it, be it is a reality. And in that same spirit, Black women in the media space, like Darian, help kill the harmful dialogue of pace and power around Black soccer players in both commentary and analysis. It's vital to the success of soccer to have the best diverse voices like Darian's amplified. It's exceptional. With that added context, as of 2023, roughly 6% of journalists across both genders are Black. 20% of sports media are women. That is what makes her extraordinary. Here's Darian in her own words.
Where I still get that same joy. I get to talk about my friends. I get to highlight players and speak about Black players, and players can relate to Black players in a way that isn't just based around their athleticism and their speed and their strength. It's around the amazing things they do on and off the pitch, how tactical they are, how technical, creative they are, their style, how they're driving culture, how they're bringing so much positivity to the NWSL, to women's soccer and women's sports in general, and just highlighting how amazing these humans are. So that's been honestly the biggest blessing and most unexpected thing that's happened in my life, especially post-retiring. That's been really, really great for me, and I think the biggest way I've been able to make an impact and get back to a sport.
Feel good.
It's just like
Sorry,
dead
guys.
air. Dead air.
I
need to bring the poster board because I still got the poster board back there. I could have propped it up.
Let's go.
Your diagram.
I
My
am
little diagram.
crying.
Maybe there's still some planets in
Yeah.
it from 6th grade, but you know what? Like it would have worked.
Oh,
This is
Chrissy,
all Cupo, but we love you, Darian.
I love you guys so much. Thank you. That really meant a lot. It's been
It
a
felt
long journey. So
it would be
thank you.
remiss to have all the conversations that we've had around here addressing your contemporaries and their role in this league, but women's soccer, women's media, without actually spotlighting you. And I felt like it was a must do.
I'm really honored. Thank you so much. That was a huge surprise and very, very sweet of you. Guys, I'm not an emotional person by any means. I do not cry in public, let alone being recorded on a live podcast. But really, that meant the world. And yeah, these doors don't open and these spaces aren't created without other women and allies opening and helping people up, and really supporting and advocating for these spaces to be more diverse. And so I appreciate you guys so much. And Cupo, thank you. That was probably one of the sweetest things somebody has ever said about me or done for me. So really, thank you. It feels really, really good to be seen, especially during this month.
Christine, excellent.
And I love you.
Excellent job. Excellent job. Darian.
Oh, I'm just proud I didn't start openly sobbing. I literally ran through that over and over and over again because I was like, you could just keep reading, just read the words that you wrote, just read the words.
I know you weren't even looking up in a
I
effort to
couldn't
not
because at one
cry.
point I looked up once and I saw you and Darian and I was like, I can't look up again.
Darian, everything Christine said is so true. I mean, you've done so much, even just, I mean, from my experience, I got to call your games, which was so cool. And now working with us on A3, and you have brought so much to this space. And you are also one of the most humble people I know. And the fact that Christine touched on all of this and all of your accolades and things, I want you to think about and let us know, like, what has anyone ever said to you, little girls? I know, like, you've met Savvy King, like, you met so many young players while you were playing. And take off your humble hat for a minute. Have you opened doors, or what doors would you like to continue to open for all the young Black players coming behind you?
Yeah, I think I have opened doors. I think visibility is one of the most important things that we can have, is being able to see yourself in any type of space, whether it being on an all-white team in Salt Lake City or going to UCLA that's majority white, and being a standout player there, or getting drafted and playing professionally around the world and across the US. I think that visibility is so important, and always being very true. I think something I can say is, like, I've always been very true to myself. And I think being that, I do realize that there's weight behind me being a Black woman in these spaces, and especially now being on TV and wearing my hair naturally all the time. That is something people come up to me and say feel very empowered by, and it's not something that I've truly thought that deeply about until maybe last year, when I got so many comments and people coming up to me and saying things like this, and people just feeling seen and validated about how I talk about my former teammates and Black players coming into the league, and not shying away from conversations about misrepresentations, or maybe not giving Black players the credit they deserve. Or even a big conversation right now is the proper medical care that Black players receive as opposed to white players. And I think the way that I'm able to advocate, and the fact that I have this stage and now teammates in this media space, I love you guys so much, that allow me to, is huge. And it's cool to see now, Lisa, I think you and I were talking about this, how many other former players now want to get into media. Like, I absolutely love that, from all races. And that's exactly how it should be. Soccer is the world sport, and the media spaces that talk about it should also reflect it. So I appreciate you guys so much. And thank you, Christine, for doing that, and all you guys' kind words. I did not expect to cry today. I feel like I'm a mess.
You're not.
I have the luckiest job in the world. So thank you guys. This transition has not been easy, but you guys have made it something that I really love to do. So thank you.
We're not crying. We were just up really late and out at the club last night. It's the bummer.
I want to ask you, because you are in the media space and looking specifically through this lens, how can journalists, reporters, analysts, hosts better support Black athletes, specifically women, in the NWSL?
I mean, it's creating space to have conversations around them. I think it's easy when, the prototype of what a good player looks like has typically been white, especially in the US for so long. And now we look like, one of you brought it up, like Christine, our front line is Black for the US. Like, triple espresso was a thing during the Olympics. Like, we're still talking about triple espresso. And I think not defining Black players by their pace and how strong they are, and look at how physical they are, which, yes, those are important qualities when you're playing, of course. But there's so much more that comes to playing at this level, and what these athletes do, and how they get into positions, and what they do on the ball, and tactically how they're seeking things out. Like, Tim Washawinga is one of the most tactically savvy players I've ever seen play. Same with Barbara Banda. But it's so easy to get caught up in those very singular descriptive ways of talking about a player when there's so much more to their game. And I think it's equally highlighting everybody. The player that scores the goal isn't always the one that had the best game. And so I think just having those conversations, creating space. If you're in a room of 30 people and none of them are of a person of color, you should ask questions about why that is, and do something to affect change. And I think we're doing that now. I love that we're highlighting players, and thank you so much, Christine, for doing this for Black History Month. But this is something that should be done all year long. It shouldn't just be a month, which is bigger conversation. But I think that's a way to start incorporating and affecting change of how we look and speak and share space with people of color.
Darian, thank you. Thank you. Didn't mean for you to put on a speech for us, but I love this in the best way. We love you so much, Christine. Well done. As Greg says on our YouTube page, dang allergies. We're going to give everyone a minute to get some tissues, fix their makeup, get ready. More Attacking Third when we get back. Hey everyone, welcome back to Attacking Third. We've got 2025 NWSL kit drop. New kits are out. Now, there are some caveats. Last year's 2024 primary kits are going to remain the same for 2025. However, each NWSL club also received a secondary kit. Now, there are also some exceptions to this exception. They've got 2 new jerseys. Orlando is going to use its secondary jersey that debuts today as its primary jersey. But for the first time, you can also buy all of these jerseys. Authentic versions of the jerseys are available for purchase on nwslshop.com. We got the kit drop, 14 of them. Now, some of us haven't seen these yet, right? Darian, Christine, have you seen any of these kits yet?
I've seen nothing. I have avoided it.
I saw a
Ready to
peek.
go.
I won't lie.
Darian,
It flooded.
The whole plan was supposed to not look at them.
I saw a peek. I won't lie, but I'll save my opinions. I didn't see all of them. Maybe I'll be surprised.
Okay, maybe. I've seen them. I saw them. Sorry, guys. Sandra's also seen them.
Yes.
I saw them yesterday. It's not my fault.
to
Okay,
get
but
my
we're gonna go
attention
through
out.
all of them. Sandra, you've
Yeah,
got
your eyeballs just fell on them, Lisa. Sure. Go ahead.
He was actually our other producer, Courtney Stith, who showed them to me in studio.
Shout out.
So
Shout
shout out
out.
to Courtney, but also I didn't know I wasn't supposed to see them. And she was like, "Did you see them?" And I was like, "No, let me see." Because it's so exciting. Okay, guys, let's talk about them. Let's start with Angel City. We're going to go alphabetical here. Angel City FC drop their new kit. It is called Los Angeles. It's the secondary kit for Angel City. Darian, initial reactions to Alyssa Thompson rocking this kit.
I like it. I actually do really like this. I like that they're paying homage to LA and what the city represents and how busy it is, but that's kind of faded into the background, and the crest and the lining of the kit really stand out. I think this is dope, and it's a play on not just a normal white kit, which I think a lot of teams, just like sometimes their away kits, they don't really do much with, and they just kind of swap them around. I really like this. I wanted more from Angel City last year, and I think we got it.
I dig it. I actually did my ranking, so it's out there on .com if you all want to go see it. And spoiler alert, Angel City's kit made it into the top 3 for me. I like it. It's very, very good. Sometimes, a cream color kit with like detailing might give the vibe that like it could potentially blend out on broadcast, but like the details in this kit are just like absolutely impossible to miss up close. And I love how connective it is of a kit to Los Angeles. I think it's coming at a really transitional time for the city. It's very uplifting. There's a charity component involved, as they're like going to be selling patches alongside this kit as well. So great stuff here from them for sure. I mean, if you really go through it, you get to see all kinds of really cool stuff from all different landmarks of LA. And it's not in the image that we showed, but there's a really nifty Los Angeles script on this kit as well that I really, really love as well. It's giving the old school like airbrush vibe kind of script.
cool.
And
Like
I hope
graffiti?
yes,
gotta
I
get a
hope they
closer look at this.
utilize
Okay.
it more moving forward in some way, some kind of merch.
Yeah, I love when teams do like a light outlining of geographical or city connective things. Like Chicago did that with the train station, the loop. I don't know. I don't live in Chicago, but Chicago did that a couple years ago with like the railroads. I don't know. I like this
It's an
one.
elevated trade system, Lisa.
Railroads.
Whatever.
Whatever they are.
Whatever. Okay, kit number 2, Bay FC. Now, they did drop 2 this year, but this is the most legit one, Christine. Initial thoughts of Bay FC and their new kit.
I mean, damn, I just want to say I really like Angel City's kit. I didn't get a chance to say that, but
Do it.
okay.
Done it.
Bay FC, I really like the navy and orange color combo. It's clean, it's a little bit different. I don't know. I feel like Bay came out with that like black on black, and I love that. So this certainly departs from there, but yeah, like this is crispy.
So there are 9 lines on the kit representing the 9 counties that bind the Bay Area. They flow together, symbolizing the power, embracing the diverse identities in the background of the area. So there are 2 new kits for Bay. The secondary one is an update to the white kit from last year. I mean, last year's Bay kits for 2024 in their inaugural season were boring.
They sucked.
Boring. They were
They
boring.
should have come out with a splash. They were so lame. They had really dope bomber jackets.
Yeah, the bomber jackets were fire though.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have played in those.
Kits. Yeah.
Is this a step in the right direction, D?
Yeah, I love Christine. I agree with you. I love the orange and the navy. I think that color combination looks really cool. I'm actually excited for them to maybe do like an all orange kit at some point. Like I love that G color. It's just cool. It's standout. It's bright. It looks powerful. And when you look good, you feel good. You play good.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw this, it was giving Chicago Bears for me. And for me, you would have thought that like, yeah, like I'm gonna be 100% sold on this kit. Absolutely not. I'm sorry. As soon as you put a crest in the middle of a jersey,
Okay.
it's out the window for me. I can.
That
that
so
is
you're
my
a hater
biggest.
of the center
That
crest.
is proud hater reporting for duty here.
I
am not here for it. As soon as I see a crest moved into a center of a kit, it's low for me.
Oh,
But
I
love the color
like
scheme.
it.
I love. So there's like a mix. There's a reason why Bay lands pretty neatly in the middle of my rankings.
Okay, so not a top 3, not a top 5 like
Wow.
Angel City. Okay, but this year, one of the clubs in the NWSL is doing a rebrand. They're dropping the red. It's now just Chicago Stars FC. This kit is sleek. It's got a dark design with a liquid metal-like pattern symbolizing the relentless intensity that lies within the team's ability to adapt to any challenge. Whoa, that was out of left field, but it looks pretty cool. You can definitely see the liquid metal-like patterns. Sandra, I'm going to go with you for this one. On a team rebrand in a new year, is this what you expect from their first kit?
Yeah, I think they wanted to try to make a bit of a statement alongside the rebrand, which is ironic because the rebrand has a bit of a rebrand in this kit. That new crest that they rolled out with is now just sort of a two-tone black and white vibe to go on this kit. But I think it falls a little short. It gets a little bit lost, not in a bad way. It's because the liquid metal of it all, of the kit, kind of stands out a bit more. I kind of like the silvery vibes of it. If they were going for metallic, it definitely kind of stands out for sure there. And I like the red trimming as well. I think that helps make it pop.
Is this like the A3 effect? Because it's weird how they said relentless, and that was our interview question to Lauren before he actually started with Red Stars about what banner he'd hang over this team. So I don't mean to claim credit, but like, was it us guys? Just like let us know. Was it us? Were we
so powerful.
influential? No, it's an interesting looking kit. It's certainly not boring, but I'm not like, oh my God, that's so wonderful.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay.
I think there's a color on it, which is kind of cool.
I love a kit with a collar.
I like a collar. It's subtle. It's
You
a
could
little
reel me in with a collar, but I also am a sucker for sleeves. So like if anybody's trying to like hit my target audience, it's long sleeve collar.
Well, that's a goalkeeper kit, Christine.
Not necessarily. Bring back the long sleeve kits. Sometimes we have cold arms.
Okay, Houston Dash. Guys, open your eyes and get ready for this one because it is something that we have never seen before. New head coach, new players into the mix, and for the first time ever, the Houston Dash are wearing purple kits. It is a new chapter. It is crazy. It is a secondary mark. It features a tonal secondary mark for their crest, but it's purple. It is purple. What do we think?
I love this.
I'm here for it.
It's like a fuchsia. I'm thinking of like a storm of lightning, the sky, like boom, you're in Houston, it's humid. Like this just makes a lot of sense. Also, Yasmin looks great. Shout out. She looks beautiful. But it's powerful. Like talking about a team that needed a rebrand and needs to reset literally everything about their organization. What a way to come out with a bang and have a jersey like this. I think this is my favorite so far from what we've seen.
Yeah, very cool.
Top 2 for
I
me.
think it's for me like purple composition notebook, but I think that the color, the vibrancy will look phenomenal on fields and on broadcasts. So like it's not a no from me. It's just I haven't quite fallen in love with it.
I love this one. I love it. I think it's so bright. I have really been digging Houston's kits the last couple of years. I think they just do a really good job of it's almost like this neon element into it. And that's also what we're getting from this. It kind of looks like spray paint splatter, like a light spray paint of this fuchsia over the dark blue, dark purple. They're calling it the Cosmic Storm kit. Definitely a top 3 for me in this so far of what I've seen. I have seen them all, but
I like
this
it a
one
lot.
is up there. Okay, let's do Kansas City Current. They're calling this the Teal Town kit. It is the first ever full kit in the Current's signature teal cover. I mean, it's taken way too long for us to get to this teal color. I love this for Kansas City. Teal rising all over it. The kit itself isn't anything with like crazy designs all over it, but it's the teal. These players in head-to-toe heel, woo! I cannot wait to see it on the pitch.
Me too. I love that they're referencing it as the Teal Town kit. I love the color scheme. And I know the Current haven't been around for a long time, but it has not only been literal years and felt like literal years. I think for fans who really wanted to see the team kind of lean into the teal of it all for Kansas City. And I love that they're doing that with this kit. And there's some details on it. The squiggly things on there are supposed to be a map that's representative of the river and Kansas City. And shout out to where the crest placement is because of how the blueprint that they have laid out on this kit. It's supposed to represent exactly where CPKC Stadium is.
No way.
I like all the
That's so
added
cool.
details. I love the teal color scheme. I love the navy blue trimming on there. I think it's going to look really good out on the pitch. This was also a top 2 for me.
Ooh.
Whoa.
See, that's very cool. Like now that you've also added in the layer of like, hey, it's understated, but the little map leads to the crest.
That's cool.
I'm a little bit sold on this. Also, I look really good in this color. So if Kansas City wants to send me one,
There you go.
I mean, you don't have to, but like I wouldn't say no. I'd probably wear it a few hundred times. No, I like it. It looks really, really good.
You're in
Yeah.
on this one, D?
Yeah, I think this was what fans really wanted was an all teal kit. Like even when I played for Kansas City, I think we only had teal socks and everything else was red. And fans went crazy thinking like they should have a fully teal kit. Why is this not a thing yet? So I like it. I almost wish it was more of a vibrant teal a little bit, like the socks. Like make it obnoxious. Make it like that highlighter yellow that Seattle had a few years back. But I like it. It's going to be a cool standout kit. It's paying homage to Kansas City. It's going to look cool while they're playing.
A similar tealish blue color is one that New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC is rolling out for 2025. This is a kit that is different. It's got some black trim around the shoulders, going down over the shoulder caps, and then at the edge of the shorts. Dee, what do you think of this one for Gotham?
I don't like it. I don't like
Say
it.
it louder. Say it with your whole chest.
I don't like it. I wish that I like the black trim. Like I enjoy the idea of the teal with black trim or whatever we're calling it, powder blue because Kansas City is teal.
Yeah, sure. This is
powder blue. I don't think I like the color blocking of the shoulders because I think it accentuates in an unflattering way. Neely Martin looks great. This is nothing about her. I'm not a
very
fan.
American football too. That
Yes,
blocking, it reads very American football
shoulder
jersey.
pad almost.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
This
I would
looks-
like it if they did a collar that was black and kept everything else powder blue or something like. But I do like the black crest. I actually think that looks badass.
Yeah, the black crest is cool. This looks like a training kit to me. This looks like a practice jersey that you would wear every single day. And then you would have an elevated one that you would wear for game day.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not my favorite. I don't think it's that
I
flattering.
disagree
You know
on the
what?
crest. I'm not here for it. Which is weird because it's like I love when teams play with crest. I allude to a lot of that in my rankings of it, but I think this one falls short. I think after a while, when you are looking at this kit, it just goes invisible. You could see the star for the 23 championship because that's there, but everything else about it just kind of fades out despite the attempts with the matte finish and some of the shiny lettering. Falls short. I think Gotham's color scheme has so much potential, but I just think it falls
Yes.
really short in
Now,
this kit.
Sandra, I'm going to put the group message on blast here. You compared this to an old time gum.
Oh, yes. How could I forget my take? When I first saw this, for some reason, it triggered this in my brain. It triggered like old timey grandma gum in my brain. Oh, shout out to Mark. Of course, he had the gum. Look, there's an image here of blackjack chewing gum, and it's like old timey grandma church gum. And that is immediately, for some reason, what it triggered in my brain as soon as I saw it. It was giving black licorice.
You know that gum has been at the bottom of some pocketbook for 20 years and it's
20,
just
40.
scrounging it
at
out with
least.
lint covering it.
Ew.
Gotham, you're
I've
better
never seen
than
that before.
the blackjack licorice kit or
I think
licorice gum.
seeing that black crest though makes me wish that they would have gone full like Dark Knight Gotham black on black. I think that would have looked
Ooh.
ridiculously cool,
Yeah.
like cold as hell.
Or even
Maybe like the powder
dark
and a
black
powder blue
with
crest, maybe.
teal or their powder blue lining, but like really
Yeah,
shiny.
that would be cool.
It's
Even the
maybe.
powder blue crest, just as
Yeah.
like the one
Yeah.
glowing.
But I really like how the black crest looks, like that black on black layering. So
Potential. It looks unfinished,
Yeah.
right? Like a little bit of that.
yeah,
Yeah, like you went to color correct in Photoshop and you like forgot to highlight all the details of the crest a little bit.
One of my bottom three. I'll just tease it.
North Carolina Courage. North Carolina Courage. They dropped the Believe kit. They say it embodies North Carolina, quote, as the place to be. What do we think? How different is this from anything else we've seen from North Carolina, Christine? We're giving you the initial thoughts here because you haven't seen them before.
yeah, no, I like it because I like that there's texture to it, but I feel like it's not serving up North Carolina Courage to me. It's just like it's a pretty kit.
Are you saying you don't believe?
I want to listen.
You're not
I
the only one.
believe when you probably shouldn't believe, and I do really like North Carolina Courage, but I think that this is like, it's nice.
Yeah.
I would wear
It's
it
giving template a little bit.
a little bit, but like I like the textured aspects of it, but other than that, it's it's nothing remarkable.
I think it's a good color. I like this red, Courage. I've never really leaned into that cardinal red of their crest before, and we're seeing them trying to do it a little bit more recently. So I appreciate that, but it's just kind of like it's fine. It's like it's a template, and maybe that makes it a little bit boring, and maybe that's I don't know. Maybe that's why they wanted to call it Believe, so that you could believe that it wasn't.
It's safe for North Carolina, I would say. Whereas some of these other kits we've seen are a bit more bold, and maybe that gives people hot takes around them, but this is safe from the Courage. Orlando Pride, let's go to them because this is a new kit for them, and we've got the crest in the center, Darian.
I like it, Sandra. I know you hate this crest in the center, but I love how symmetrical this kit is. I mean, the purple pops. It's 10 years of Orlando. I mean, I think this is cool. I'm liking the teams that go all out on their home color.
Darian, you're missing the biggest factor of this kit. There's a star.
The star. Yeah, the star's cool. I still am not a fan of the fountain. I wish that the Pride would do like a Pride of Lioness. I won't lie. I don't get it. But I do love the color. I like the placement of everything. I think it stand out. It pops. It feels powerful, but fun at the same time. I love this.
I will say this. I have Orlando ranked higher than Bay on my rankings. I love the iridescent crest. It looks so good, and I hate that it's in the middle of this jersey, not once but twice. Not only is it in the center, it is then sandwiched between the sponsor and a Nike swoosh. You couldn't have at least moved it higher. We'll see. At least it's not as low as Bay.
I like this, but here's the thing. My thing is, especially this season, because they have the star, like flap that baby right in the center of my chest so I could be like, hey, everybody seeing it? Everybody, like that part. I don't love how big the Nike check is above it. I feel like that could have been a little bit more understated, but the purple is gorgeous and Bando looks fire in it.
The iridescent crest is very cool. Can we make sure the numbers are not iridescent? That's all I've got to say.
Oh no.
as
Listen,
a
I've
com
already
in the
got
league.
glasses on glasses. I will not be able to see it. I'm just going to be going by vibes. Like I feel spiritually like that's Banda carrying the ball. I'm not sure. Like
We're never going to get
maybe
name
not.
that player right when Mark puts the numbers in there for Orlando because we're just never going to know. Okay, from Orlando to Portland, Thorns FC. They've dropped a new kit. Sophia Smith rocking it with that new diamond wedding band as well. Sophia Wilson. Wow, I couldn't even do that one right. Christine, what do you make of this Portland kit? Does it look like a sweater to you or just me?
It does. Like I'm like, okay, does this come in cashmere? Where do I sign up? Like it's nice. It
I
it
like
doesn't
it.
look like a kit, and I don't know if that's a bad thing. It's certainly unique, but yeah, it looks like marled wool. Like I'm like, all right, fashion girlies, like infinitely better in my opinion than the Ed Hardy year. I hated that. I don't ever want to see that happen again. This is nice. I'm okay with this. I would forget that it's a kit and probably wear it accidentally as a shirt.
So it's dark shades with red kind of horizontal lines
Yeah.
strewn throughout it. I'm not good at describing kits like this, Sandra. How do you rank Portland's?
It's lower for me. It's definitely the bottom half of my rankings. And honestly, it's not like, again, so many of these kits are not truly terrible, but they're not really like hit it out of the park type of kids. So they're all, I don't want to say they're all kind of mid, but they're all just sort of fine. And I think for Portland, they kind of strike that as well. This is fine. It's giving more of a training kit for me. Again, love the crest. I just think the kit falls a little bit short in this one, especially when you compare it to what we've seen from Portland in the past.
We've seen clubs go one way or another, different colors that they've thrown out there. And Darian Racing Louisville said, we are going to go back to our roots, drop the roots kit. And it is green, a forest green. It's matching your nails right now, Darian. Do you like?
It matches my nails, my bonnet, my chair, my sheets. I have a green obsession. I like this. I think Louisville is also a team that needed a reset. I did not like their kits. What was their one thing they did when they were
The
photo
Argyle?
shoot for it?
That looked like
They did like a
Harlequin.
maybe they did a funky photo shoot for it, I think in 2022. But anyways, I was
Yes.
like, I
Yes.
do not like this. They were in like a barn or something like that.
Yeah.
This is cool. This feels sleek. I think the minimalist part of it just being green with the dark lining, the dark accents is cool. It feels badass. It feels professional. It feels like a subtle form of power. I like this. I think Louisville needed a reset, and this was a statement to do it.
Green is a little too muddy for me, but I'm here for more green kits in the league.
So
Like,
you realize you're outnumbered here for green girls, right?
oh,
Sandra?
I'm a green girly too. I'm here for any I'm a cool color palette type of girl. Give me my greens, give me my blues, give me my purples. This one, you don't think the green's just a little bit too muddy? It's not as foresty or evergreen to me. It's a little bit more green
It's
brown.
a little dark. I get it.
Yeah.
It is a little dark, but I think it's like a gritty kind of, I don't know. I like the subtlety of it.
I like the green. There's a lot of purple teams in the NWSL. There are a lot of purple out there.
I don't
Especially
think there are any green teams.
They're
Not that green, at least, at all.
not
Like
that
I
green,
can't even
no.
think of recent memory of teams that have used that color.
But now we have
And
Boston and Denver coming in that are also
We'll
looking like
see.
they're going to use green. So Louisville was like, I got to get ahead of all those teams coming in next year.
as someone who spiritually roots for Louisville for myriad reasons, aside from probably having been reprogrammed to be rooting for Louisville after last season, I think the green maybe will bring them good fortune. They'll actually get into playoffs this year. They definitely needed to turn the page. So that's the way I'm looking at it.
San Diego Wave FC, they dropped their new kit as well. And this one features water. They are saying that the Del Sol kit was the sun, and now this Altamar kit is the sea. It looks like we're looking directly into a reflection pool. Sandra, how do you rate this one for San Diego?
Yeah, I've got it in the upper half of my rankings for sure. Listen, I already said I love the cool color palette, so I like the shades of blue in this one, and there's no mistaking it. You look at it, it's very obvious what it's trying to represent, and I love when the messaging doesn't get lost.
I love it too because the sponsor is not eating up the entire front of the kit.
Yeah.
It's just like it's there, but it's not insane. And I love the water aspect. I mean, San Diego, you can do so many cool things with it being SD. And I like that they're sticking to environment, sun, water. Who knows what they're going to do next? But I love this. This is probably top 3 for me so far.
Ooh.
Okay, this one I don't like, and I think it's probably just a byproduct of growing up at the shore because it reminds me of the little kids' boardwalk rash guards in that exact print. And maybe it's by design because San Diego, but like I can't get beyond like I could literally go find you like a $25 rash guard from like the hand store on Long Beach Island that looks like that.
Oh my gosh, Christine, yes.
I'm sorry.
that.
It's
I love
exactly
As a Jersey Shore girl myself, yes. You literally took me back to the Ocean City Boardwalk circa like 2005. That's hilarious. I like this though. I agree with the sponsor, Darian. There are some kits where I'm like, all I see is the sponsor, like Racing
loud.
Louisville.
Yeah.
But Orlando Pride also is that, but theirs is Orlando Health, so it kind of is like symmetry. I
Works.
let that one
Mhm.
slide. I'm actually, it's helpful because I'm like, oh, that's Orlando. It says it all over the kit. Okay, that was San Diego's. We're getting toward the end here. Seattle Reign FC. They are dubbing this the Rise kit, and of course, they had to have their new forward striker Lynn Biondolo rocking this one. We get to see it looks like sun rays coming out of the side of her a little bit. Christine, what do you make of this one for Seattle Reign?
no. I don't know what it is about it that doesn't draw me in. It could just be that the subtlety of the rays from I don't know. They could have done better. Lynn's definitely looked better. This is not a knock on her. Like, give her some color. God.
It's also just like an incomplete for me. Like I get what they're
Mhm.
going for here. They're really trying to show off the kit and the details, but every one of these kit reveals have been with the sponsor. So I don't know. There's a little bit of a question mark for me. Like I don't know if the Black Futures Co-op is still going to be the sponsor on the front. I hope so because in my opinion, it's the best looking sponsor font in the
Mhm.
league. It looks so cool whenever you see Rain out there with those kits on there saying the Black Co-op on there. And so this gets more of an incomplete for me because you got to see it in full effect. And I don't think we're getting the full effect here.
Yeah, it feels a little bland.
Yeah.
I think if there was a sponsor, I would be thinking about this differently. I actually do like the simplicity of it with the white with the rays. I like the pattern of the rays, the way that they come up the front of the shirt. It looks cool. But yeah, I wish there was a little bit more of a pop. But it
Yeah.
seems like Seattle's also on a reset, and who knows if they'll be adding a sponsor to the front. I know working in a front office, I know that sometimes those things can run late. Who knows? We may see something come season time.
It also
I
looks
think
like the crest is very tiny on this kit compared to how large the Nike swoosh is. And I honestly, I would like it better if it was in the middle. I'm going to say that. I would like this kit better. if
Andrew's gonna go run screaming from the chair today. I think if
Oh,
they
that's
added some like
nightmares.
accent colors or maybe some metallic lining, like
Ooh,
maybe a
that would be cool.
pinstriping to it, it would have popped more. So it looked more complete. But for me, it looks like a version 1 of what could have been like a version 3.
I want to rate it again when we see the whatever's in the front.
Yeah,
The
I would
sponsor.
assume something's gonna
Yeah.
that's a lot of
Front of
money
kit
for
sponsor
that
is a huge
position.
one.
So
Yeah.
who knows?
Utah Royals, they've dropped the Great Salt Lake kit. It is designed after, any guesses, everyone? The Great Salt Lake. There we go. It's a blue
The
kit
salt flats.
with
Huh.
the yellow trim, the yellow socks. Dee, what do you think?
I don't mind this. I think it's loud. It's funny, like Salt Lake. I don't. It does not look like this at all, but it's cool. I understand the
I mean,
inspiration.
it's not a vibrant blue and turquoise. How dare you?
It is not.
yeah.
But I like the loudness of it. And
If
I
we-
really am enjoying the trim that teams are highlighting. The golden yellow is cool. It's a good complement with the blue. Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
Great color combo for sure. The royal blue, the bright yellow. It's electric. It looks
So
good.
I love me a bright sock. Like I love yellow socks. Like I still have the US Women's National Team highlighter yellow socks, which I guess I'm retiring so that they don't disintegrate. But like pop-in socks are like one of my favorite things. Like it brings kids together.
Well, Christine, if you like bright, loud colors, get ready for Washington Spirit. Their secondary kit name says it all. It's called Shockwave. Finally, we are getting full neon with neon highlighter yellow with neon highlighter green accent trim. Yes, 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 yes. All day in this bold yellow kit for me. What do you think, Christine?
Did they jacket from Brazil?
Yo, I'm saying, or
Like
Australia.
it's good, but it literally looks like it was like, hey, let's slap the Spirit logo on a Brazil jersey and roll with it. I
Yeah.
don't hate it. I just as soon as I look at it, without if you just hid the crest, I'm assuming it's Brazil.
Sandra?
Yeah, I don't disagree. It's one of these kind of middle of the pack kits for me. I also just don't really know what the messaging is or what exactly is going on with like the Spirit rebrand. Like we've heard something's been coming or in the works for like a couple seasons now, but they went with like a monochrome kind of crest, and then they introduced like highlighter yellow last year. So it's like they're not really changing the logo or the name, but they're integrating new colors. So it's like, I don't know. It's a weird vibe. These last two kits are just like, if you have to over explain the messaging, it gets like lost a little bit. And I think for me, it's a good kit. It's going to absolutely stand out on the pitch, but I'm not sure if it ranks higher or lower than some of the other ones. And I think maybe it's going to be a middle kit for that reason. It's very template like almost though.
Oh my gosh, guys, I love this one. Darren,
I
what do
love
you-
it. Please send me one, Washington Spirit.
This is
Please send
awesome.
me a Trinity Rodman one. I will rock it.
I can't wait to see Lacey Santos rock a kit that looks like a Brazil kit. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be hilarious.
She's going to hate that. Okay, guys, quickly, number one kit. Who'd you say?
I went with Kansas City Current.
Oh,
I like the teal.
Sandra.
Oh, no.
That's shocking to me. I'm going with Houston. I love
I just want to be
that
different. I know a lot of people are going to
purple
put Houston one. So
neon. I love that one. I really like this Washington one too. Finally, they're
I'll
just
say
leaning
Spirit.
all into it.
Yeah, I love Spirit. We were both saying we wanted a highlighter kit and we got it.
Christine?
you got to see them all again, Cupo. I'm with you though.
I'm like,
with you.
hey, I'm a visual learner. I can't remember what we went. No,
You like the
I
Angel
feel like
City one too.
because it's stuck in my brain. Yeah, I like the Angel City one. I like Orlando. Yeah, there's a few, but now it's all a blur. So yeah, that's my answer.
It's all a blur. You can rock all of these. NWSLshot.com. Plus, the goalkeeper kits are available for purchase right now at the time of the jersey launch. And for the first time ever, you can purchase these in the UK as well. And there's replica versions of these jerseys featured expanded sizes this year, extra small through 2X for the women's cut, small through 3X for the men's cut. Go get them, go buy them. Clubs, if you want to send them to A3, we'll rock them all day on the show. We've got shows all season long and we will be talking about them. All right, guys, don't go anywhere. We've got a mailbag. We're answering your questions next. Stick with us. Ding dong, mail's here. It is an A3 mailbag. If you've got questions for us, drop them in the chat on YouTube. Hit us up on socials at Attacking Third, podcast comments and ratings and reviews, whatever you want. Mark will gather them all up and we get to answer them. Question number one at Jill Nicole 8416 says, is there still room on the national team for Ashley Sanchez and Croix Bethune? And if so, who would they replace? Two midfielders that Jill Nicole wants to see, Darian. Is there room for them?
Yes, there's room. It's tough when I think people use such definite words as replace because there's so much fluctuation that goes with this team. And just as a player, you're on sometimes and you're really off sometimes. There's just knocks, there's injuries. Yes, there's always room. This is a really competitive team and you have to stay ready and be ready. And I think both of those players are, but it's getting to heavy competition, and it's going to weed out who's ready to improve, who's ready to take on what Emma Hayes and this team are doing, and who can come in and be most effective. And I do think both of those players have that in their arsenal.
Sandra, Hayes has talked about how deep the number 10 role is, the attacking midfield position for this US. If Bethune and Sanchez get on this roster, who maybe isn't getting in the midfield group? Do they have room for them? What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's always going to be room. I think one of the important things to always note about Emma Hayes is she's not someone who's saying that she's going to count anybody out. I think it's going to be really a case of what have you done for me lately? It's really going to depend on form and timing and the right opportunity. Really, I think we saw that really evident in this She Believes Cup tournament. Who's available? How are they going to look? Where are the gaps? We heard it match day in and match day out. So I'm not here to say someone's going to get replaced. I'm not really here for the framing of that. I think that this is already a deep pool, and we're just watching it get deeper and deeper.
At Cade Braham. I love when Cade Braham asks those questions because it's probably the best username. Who has earned a spot in the next U.S. Women's National Team camp, and who still has work to do? Christine, who still has work to do? Who is not quite there getting the next call up to the camp after the She Believes Cup?
I feel like we kind of talked about this last night. For those of you who were not awake at 2 a.m., how dare you? Ridiculous. Where's your dedication? In terms of who I think are locks for calls up to next camps, Lily Johannes, Ali Sentnor for sure, Michelle Cooper. I think those that still need to put in work, Hutton, McKeown, nearly anyone else that we saw. I don't think that anybody's really guaranteed a spot. I do think that McGlynn could have had a better showing. I think Jane Campbell showed a little bit of weakness where we don't usually see her do that for the national team where she's had opportunities. I would like to continue the campaign for Fallon Tullis-Joyce to get called up, whether training camps, but I would really like to see her get a trial in a friendly, at least. Like, get her into the full camp, not just off to the side.
Safe to say we all agree on Sentnor, Cooper, Lily Johannes. Dee, we haven't talked once about Giselle Thompson between last night and today's episode. Where does she fall on what side of the line?
To me, she needs a little bit more time. We saw a lot of growth in her game with Angel City last year, and she can be so much more effective in the attack. I think that's her game. How can you get in line, combine with the forward in front of you, be more of the player that I think how Crystal Dunn is on that left side, and how she can build up and easily blend into the midfield, easily blend into the front line, and still recover. I think she needs to develop that a little bit more, and that comes with playing with your club and getting intense minutes consistently, and then she'll be there. I think she has all the potential in the world. I think it's just going to take a little more time. I mean, she's freaking young. Girl's got time, so let her go marinate with Angel City for a bit.
They're all young. Even Claire Hutton, who might need a little bit more time, as she's a teenager. She's got time. Soccer is my ride or die 10. So who else could get called up? What new uncapped players would Sandra call into the next camp?
First of all, I love that name. That's what a great name for the question. Rush Soccer is my ride or die. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see some of these players that have been mentioned already, even though folks want to keep seeing new names and things like that. I also think it's really important to note that the next camp that comes in April, Emma Hayes has already said it's going to be very specifically be a U23 camp. So there's going to be players who are called in who fit within that sort of structure. So I think we're actually going to get to see some more of those players called in, whether it's the ones that we just saw right now who might maybe need a little extra time. We've mentioned Hutton. I agree with that. I think Giselle Thompson is one of those players that can get in the mix of a U23 camp in April against Brazil. That's an opponent that they're going to want to see these types of players. But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we also see some of those future camp roster players maybe come into the mix of this next coming camp in April. I wouldn't mind maybe seeing Lily Real and the defenders side of things. She recently signed with Gotham out of college, so maybe we'll get to hear. Maybe even Savvy King, depending on what she does with Angel City, how she performs. Maybe that warrants her another look into the April camps.
Oof, I like that call up. That's a really good one. Guys, that's it. That does it for our episode today, our mailbag. If you have questions for us, guys, hit us up across socials at Attacking Third. We're live on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday, 11 a.m. We're going to go live following games on Sundays. NWSL season is around the corner. I can't wait for it. Thanks for hanging with us today, guys. If you're with us on Golazo Network, have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you next week. If you're on YouTube, stick around. We got a extra special A3 extra time coming up next. For Darian, Sandra, Christine, and Mark, see you later, Golazo Network, and see you in a few seconds, YouTube. Hey, YouTube. Welcome back into Attacking Third. Thanks for sticking with us. We call these A3 extra time. We add on a little bit extra for you people who hang with us through 2 a.m. and back at it again the next morning. We have some big news dropping out of Bay FC. They've announced that Graeme Abel has resigned from his role as head of domestic scouting, and the club has accepted his resignation. Now, Abel was hired in February. Bay just announced his position last week, just a week before this resignation came. He was a former U.S. Women's National Team assistant under Jill Ellis from 2015 to 2019, and then he was in the college game, the head coach of Oregon's women's team from 2019 through 2024. And after this hiring, there was waves of backlash towards Bay FC due to following the backlash from the hiring from allegations of abuse by female players at University of Oregon. That was first reported last April. So the hiring came, the backlash came, and then the resignation, all within about a week or two. But Darian, my biggest question is, should Bay have even hired him in the first place?
No, I think regarding reading the player statements and regarding the state of the NWSL, this was not a good move. It didn't make sense to me. I can see maybe how someone got caught up in, his background with U.S. soccer, sure, but after that, I mean, I don't really get how this slips by so many people thinking that this would be a good move and detract away from the first season for Bay, going into the second season. Everybody has high hopes for them. This is just not, it was not the move for Bay. And I think it's smart that he's stepping away. But it really shouldn't have gotten this far in the first place, in my opinion.
I think it raises question marks in general of like how hiring processes work in NWSL. I think this is one of those moments where you find yourself asking those questions that we've asked before in the past. Like, well, how does a hire like this happen? What are those background checks actually supposed to look like? And then when you have an opportunity to maybe get some of those answers, sporting director Matt Potter was on a virtual availability and kind of doubled down a little bit on their background checks. And I guess if you're doing the bare minimums of like, I don't know, a hard credit check and whatever other soft checks that you typically do in a background check for whatever, that maybe that if as long as you meet the bare minimum, you're like, sure, this checks out. There's also, you have to take a look at like, you know, how those hirings happen. I mean, Matt Potter and Abel coached together at the collegiate level, Washington State, Oklahoma women. He was an assistant under Potter. So there's also those questions as well. It's like, you wonder if you're having someone go through sort of basic preliminary kind of background checks, but you're going off of the experience and the notoriety between former colleagues, that maybe that weighs out of some things. I don't know. Maybe the background check should also include a simple Google search, because if you do that, you read about all of these allegations that the players kind of decided to come forward with around Abel. So I think
Sandra, but it's hard
tough.
to believe that Bay didn't do some of that and overlook it and say, hey, but we need someone. Like, that's to me, that's where the confusion comes in. There's no way that they didn't Google this or know this or do some type of investigation as to what happened.
That's exactly the impression that it gives off, and that's part of the problem. I think whenever we're talking about things like this, even in the resignation statement of saying, my hiring is distracting from the club, and I don't want that. I have to step away. Well, obviously, obviously because of the allegations around that. So, to want to try to pretend as if maybe this is like this isn't going to be sort of like a day-to-day role where you're not going to have access, but it's still a scouting role. You're still going to have to interact with players, their families. There's still going to be that high level of day-to-day interaction in some capacity, maybe even if it's not with the actual senior team of Bay FC. So it was a misstep for sure for Bay FC. There's no other way to state it.
Have they recovered, Christine, because of this accepted resignation?
Well, I don't know if it's a question of recovery, right? You gave him the opportunity to resign. You didn't say, listen, we can't have this in our club, which I feel like would have been a more firm stance that probably would have reinstilled some of the faith in the organization as a whole. But I'm talking with some of the chat, and this isn't specific to women's soccer. Unfortunately, it gets exposed more often, which I don't necessarily look at as a bad thing, because it means that you unfortunately have to confront it more often than you would in the exterior world, where men refer other men in good faith and say, yeah, that I know him, I worked with him, it's good. But their experiences don't reflect the broader population, that maybe the experiences they've had in working situations with women are not congruent with that. And that gets discounted. I feel like, yes, definitely do more background checking. However, you can't necessarily take someone's individual referral as Bible going forward, and that, yes, definitely hire that person.
It feels as though Bay was trying to sneak one in and it didn't work. So they said, there's too much backlash. We're not going to.
The backlash shouldn't have been the caveat for action. It should have
Yeah.
been, we saw this
Shouldn't have
needs
got
to
there.
stop here. And that's where I say they should have taken a more firm stance themselves. Do not give someone the dignity of a resignation to say, I walked away because of
Mhm.
XYZ.
Exactly.
It leads to more layers of distrust of why
Mm-hmm.
diehard supporters, even casual fans of this league, have such distrust with the policies and protocols that currently exist within the league and its clubs.
Mhm. James Miller says it perfectly. Based on league history, new hires should be squeaky clean, especially considering everything that has just come out with the settlement with the NWSL that dropped a few months ago regarding safe sport and everything that needs to come from this league. If we're not talking about your team and your hires, that's a good thing. You don't want us talking about us. You don't want us talking about them. Some other news that has happened, there have been a lot of preseason matches and invitationals and some unfortunate injury news. Seattle Reign has placed forward Veronica Latsko on the season-ending injury list. Portland Thorns have also announced that forward Morgan Weaver and defender Nicole Payne and Marie Mueller have been placed on the SEI list. So sending fast recoveries, prayers, well wishes, strength, and patience to all of those players. It is tough to hear that before the season even starts. Washington Spirit has also made some news. It's been rumored for a long time, and finally it's official. They have signed Mexican international defender Rebeca Bernal, not one, not two, Sandra, but a 3-year deal, a transfer coming from Mexico's Monterrey. What the heck is Bernal going to add to Washington Spirit, and how do they keep getting all these international roster spots?
Let's go. Let me get a Viva Mexico in the chat. Let me see some flags in the chat.
Viva Mexico!
That's what I'm talking about. Listen, I'm thrilled for this signing. It was a long time coming. I think we saw some of the rumors and maybe some of the reporting outside of the states that were connecting Bernal to NWSL and then eventually to the Spirit. But there's something here. I think this is a move that symbolizes the Jonathan Giraldes of it all. This is like some direct personal scouting that he wanted. This is a player that he wanted to get on his roster to make sure that they continue to be competitive moving forward. And I think there's a real opportunity. Of course, I'm always going to be up for these types of moves. You see it on all of my social media profile bios that I'm here to yell for Latinas in soccer. And of course, I'm always going to yell a little bit louder for any Mexican players or dual national Mexican American players. But Bernal's particularly special because, I mean, this is a player who represents so much of the current state of Mexico women's national team program. This is a player that you can directly point at and look at the foundation of Liga MX Femenil. She has only ever played for Monterrey when the league was founded. And so many of the players that we're talking about today as part of Mexico's national team women program are products of this league that finally was founded, that was finally given resources and the green light by Mexican Football Federation to sustain itself and to say we need to have a place where we continue to grow and develop our women athletes. And so Bernal, I think, next to maybe Ovalle, are two of the most outstanding examples that you can get of the current state of Mexican women's soccer. So not only are they getting a phenomenal Mexican player, they're getting one that could actually kind of play across lines. So even though she's coming in listed as a defender, this is someone who is no stranger to playing in that center back role and holding things down there, but also playing in that defensive midi role. How they're going to utilize her, I think, is part of the excitement around getting this type of player with the spirit.
Guys, give Sandra a Viva Mexico. Let's go.
Viva Mexico, dale.
Viva Mexico, cabron. Is that the right way to do it? Okay,
Drop it.
no.
Drop the cuss words.
The best
Sorry, gotta
way,
do it. We're on the YouTubes. I could do it here, right?
there are no rules here on the YouTube
We do what we want.
podcast. What a way to close out the show. Congrats to Washington signing that player. Guys, a little bit of a programming update. You heard it here first on YouTube if you're hanging with us for some stoppage time. We have a new cadence of Attacking Third. We are going forward, going to be Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern and then Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern live on YouTube because the NWSL season is starting. So we're going to be doing live recaps Sunday nights following the conclusion of the NWSL weekend, but it does start with the Challenge Cup on Friday. In March 14th, I believe. No, I'm sorry, March 7th. We're going to go live.
You're delirious.
It's been a long couple of hours. March 7th, we are going live following the Challenge Cup to recap it all. And then we are going to start Tuesdays. So we won't see you Monday, but we will see you Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern time to chat all things women football that happens over the weekends. We can't wait to do it and hang with you all. So thank you. Darian, it's been a pleasure honoring you today and this whole thing. Let's see if we can make her cry again. Any other words, Christine, for her?
Please no.
Well, I mean, I had to cut down that significantly or it would have spanned the whole episode. So like we could do like the B-sides. We could add a beat to it.
Remix.
Happy Black History Month, everyone, especially you, Darian. We love you so much. Thanks for being part of our team. Yes, the throwback baby D pictures.
These are so funny. No, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for creating this space and being such allies. This is what the world needs, right? Especially right now. So thank you guys so much. Support the Black Women's Players Collective. I can announce I'm a board member now, officially. Support your Black players. Let's elevate the space and just be inclusive and good people. Shout out. Love you guys.
Let's go. The best way to end the episode, be kind, everyone, and have a fabulous weekend. For Mark, Sandra, Christine, Darian, I'm Lisa. This was Attacking Third. We'll see you on Tuesday next week.